Yes.
Is this when we forget how to be human? I think so.
Pardon me while I put my robot emoji on.
I think you need to say, because it fits, because it's Dating Later Live. If you remember, what did you call this? Because we FaceTime before to try to figure out what we're going to talk about, and you called it the. I'm putting you on the spot. The foreplay. It was the Dating Later Live foreplay. That's probably what
Yes.
there is
Please.
live.
I so appreciate the before play before you hit live, and you just hit me like right out of the blue with the
I did
on the
with
spot.
With the recall. I know. I'm trying to look at the green light, so it looks like I'm looking at you.
Same, like you're below the green light, and so.
Okay, Deke, I did a lot of research, and it says, and I said this to you, do not start with any banter or back and forth, but I feel like we have to, otherwise it's super awkward. Like, who are we? What are we doing? Who are you? What are you doing?
Man, I'm a coach and a consultant, and I am joining you on this project in support of your book, Dating Later, which is great. I'm still reading it, but I'm enjoying it. It's such an easy read. Of course, I have the luxury of knowing your voice and your
I know.
mannerisms.
I keep saying that was my plan. There's my perfect intro. Was last weekend. It was Memorial Day, and I have no life because right now I'm not dating later. But that's why everything I'm talking about is in the past. So if we do go out anytime soon, I'm not talking about you. But I was going to go in my closet and record the audio for the book because I like to listen to everything nonfiction. I don't like to read it. Do you listen or read?
I'm a reader, but you have had me lately thinking that maybe I would convert, at least for like the times that I'm driving and walking, and the times that it probably would be really weird to be reading a book.
I actually had a neighbor who she would walk around holding a book out like this through the neighborhood.
I mean, I kind of like it.
I am going to record Dating Later in my closet because it is Friday and I have nothing happening this weekend. So I'm going to go into the closet, record Dating Later, and sit with the question that we are going. Let's start with the question we're going to end with. So, what is the question?
The question is, would you date you? Or conversely, would I date me? Would you date yourself?
Would you date yourself? And I mean, this is a little bit borrowed, appropriated from a reel. I didn't listen to the whole thing with Esther Perel on Instagram this week. And I heard her say that. And the first thing I thought was, I remember when I was first dating, 2017 maybe, and I was on Match.com. It'd be much more compelling if I was on farmersonly.com, but I was on Match.com, and I wanted to say I matched with this guy. I don't even remember. I don't think that I did. Maybe I don't know how it works there anymore. Swiped on him. Regardless, he said to me, "You're separated. You should not be dating." Whole school of thought, and that's a different Dating Later live. But back then, with hindsight, I think I would not have dated myself. I was scattered energy. I was a little bit too exuberant and excited. And so I think even back then, my answer would have been, in those quiet, self-aware moments, no.
Yeah, I had this vision of, you drop your grocery sack and the grapes are going all over the parking lot. That kind of energy.
Yes. And yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question because we tend to think as we go into these first coffee dates or whatever it is, would I date him, her, they, them? Am I interested? But we never stop to ask ourselves that pre-question.
Yeah, it's real easy to offload it onto the other person of whether you would date them. And I'm wondering if there's like a default assumption that I'm dateable by way of not asking it. Like, because I don't know, I feel like if you get out there, at some level you think you are.
That's it. Yeah.
but then the examination is where it gets real.
And it's only hindsight. I mean, this man was making a lot of assumptions because I was separated, not fully divorced. But again, for me, he was spot on. And yes, I mean, I've looked, he's still on the dating apps. And I kind of want to swipe on him sometimes and say, you were exactly right. But I think it asks of us a level of self awareness, of thinking about what am I projecting? What does it feel like to be with myself? Like be still, be alone. Because a lot of people date because they don't want to be alone.
Yeah, there's a man. I know I've gone through phases like that where it's just like this. Uh, I'm going to use the word anxiety for lack of better words, but this desire and with an anxious energy about like, oh, I don't want to be alone, or I want companionship or whatever that is.
Yes, and it's that what are we bringing to the relationship? And I did watch that beginning snippet of the reel, and whoever the woman was, I don't think she was famous, immediately without missing a beat said, yes. I think we know. I mean, even if we won't say it out loud, and a lot of dating and the exploration before we start dating and the digging into the patterns of what we show up like as a dater, it's really personal. And sometimes we're not ready to say them to anybody else, even a coach, just barely to ourselves. But we know when we're still the answer to the question.
Yeah, and you may, off the cuff answer it yes, and then be like,
Yeah.
Something inside saying, no, that's not really, and that's perhaps what's underneath this whole question is what is it that gets you to the yes?
Yes. I mean, I'm thinking about I stopped dating for a couple of years entirely, mostly because at that point in my life, and my daughter, I realized there was really no first date that was going to be compelling enough that if she said, I think I'm going to be home tonight, I wouldn't cancel. Because I mean, she was a sure thing, fucking hilarious. I loved spending time with her. I was like, I knew I would back out. And so I'm thinking about that period of my life. Would I have dated me? No, because I wasn't, and that's why I stopped dating. I wasn't projecting fully, both feet in, interested energy.
Yeah, the the wind blew a different direction, and you're like, I'm out.
That's
See.
it. And I think because you start dating. I mean, I've worked with one woman in particular, and everybody who I share has said it's okay to share this, was dating full throttle for a while, and we're still working together, and she stopped dating. It goes back to what you said last time about every relationship, and the way we show up dating, we show up in every relationship. But I think she would say, I know she would, she's really comfortable with who she is right now, but that doesn't mean she would, would you date you? No. And that's why she's not out there.
Yeah, and it's not like that's a bad thing if the answer is no. Like
Yeah.
it's perfectly okay to call timeout and
Mhm.
to not participate in dating. The funny thing is even if you're not participating, you're still participating. But
Yes.
to say, oh wait, let me go to the sideline for a little bit and look at, maybe there's just other things in life to tend to right then, or any
Mhm.
number of things. But
Do you think you can say no? Would you date you? Now I'm getting the pronouns all confused. So I'm thinking, would you date you? If your answer is probably not. And I think that a lot of people, that really might be their answer. They're not feeling great about themselves right now, whatever the reason. Can you date successfully? Even if your answer is, I don't know, or probably not.
I think an important part of dating in particular is having some intentionality. I think maybe an adjustment to what that is. Hey,
Yeah.
look, maybe then it's I'm just I just want to connect at a friend level, or I just want to connect at this level, pick your level. But to be clear for yourself and intentional for yourself, and
Mm.
then I'm always an advocate for being clear and intentional with with the other party or parties that you're interacting with. But yeah, I think you can. I mean, that's the thing about dating. It can be any of number of things that you want it to be.
You're good at being really clear. I mean, I think about Brene. Is it Brene who said it? Clarity is kindness. I can't remember. You're really
Love that.
good at that, at being super clear.
Yeah, but I've not always been,
Okay.
like there was, I've obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but you will know, obviously, maybe anybody listening doesn't know that I've really been digging in, like really looking at what the patterns were for me. So clarity was not always a place that I was coming from.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you start looking there and it gets a little uncomfortable when you're like, oh man, I really wasn't all that clear. Or you start realizing maybe all the little ways you're trying to manipulate an outcome in any particular direction. And
Yeah.
that one gets, at least for me, when you start getting really straight about your manipulations, then that's a tough pill to swallow for,
And does that tie back into would you date you? Do we need to manipulate the situation? Or if we're really comfortable and yeah, I would date me, do we show up differently?
I think you do show up differently. And then just if, like for me, that clarity is a value that is something that I value. Candor is something that I value. So, that's something I'm looking at is, am I being that? Am I communicating clarity? Am I being, this a candor in what I'm saying? And look, it gets really uncomfortable, right? When you, because just as much as I've manipulated in the past, there's manipulation coming at me
Right.
too. Not necessarily a direct exchange, but that comes. And so when somebody's trying to manipulate you, then that puts you in a position to not be clear,
Yeah.
or to not have the level of candor and that kind of thing. So that was a long and winding
No,
path.
it's interesting. And you're making me think of two things. One, I'm going to leave till the end, but the dating app known as the Tinders. I don't, it's different in every city. I mean, someplace I don't even know anymore if it's a hookup at in the ATX. But I'm kidding. I have no idea. But on Tinder, especially, this may be other places, it says, now I'm going to get the language wrong, short term, open to long, or looking for short term fun, or whatever it is. And I think the answer, would you date you, is really important. If it's a no, and what you're looking for is a long term partnership, whether it's marriage, but is the answer important? Would you date you if you're just looking for that Tinder short term fun? I don't know that it is, that you need to be in that place of full on, I would pick me.
Yeah, I mean it could be I would pick me in this season, you
That's,
know.
I mean, I'm a big believer in the season. Yeah, that's helpful too. Because I might have picked me in that season of beginning to date. Yeah. And then the other thing that I'm thinking about is, and I think you've read these individuals, the Gottmans, we're familiar with them. John
Yes.
Gottman. And the end of my marriage, we did the Hail Mary, really fancy $10,000 boot camp where we went to his house. We got to go to John's house. It was not great, but actually it was fine. It was an adventure. But the couple of times he and I butt heads was he kept saying, and I think he really believes this, you don't have to be happy on your own to come together and be happy in a partnership. And I just remember thinking and saying, because I believe this for myself, I think you do. Because I think in order to be that, what I'm looking for and what my marriage was for years is together you're greater than the sum of your parts. And if that's what you want, which was what I wanted and is what I want now, you have to say, yes, I would date me in order to create that.
Yes, man, that's such a fascinating. I think I'm in your camp on that rub
Yeah.
because I don't I don't have it that anyone else is responsible for my happiness.
Right.
And I don't think I want the weight of being responsible for somebody else's happiness. Like I don't know. I think that's a
And maybe he was seeing it as puzzle pieces. I mean, I have this back, I'm so old, but when there were memes and it was like maybe 2016 and I screenshot it and then I sent it to like CVS to have it printed in a picture. I don't know why I did this convoluted thing, but it was a stick figure and there are two stick figures. This is now not going to convey. The one stick figure said to the other, and the other was holding like a piece of pottery that said happiness. And the first stick figure says, I've been looking all over for that. Where did you get it? And then the second stick figure says, I made it myself. And I always think about that. Like, I do think you need to make that didn't fly, did it?
no,
No.
it did. I like it. I envisioned it, but I'm from the meme era,
Yes. And
the
just
stick
that,
figure meme era.
that's the thing. I think you need to have that for yourself. Say, yes, I would date me before you can show up healthy in a relationship.
Yeah, and then it goes back to that you're matching with people who are in that same season. So if it's
You're
not
right.
your hey, I'm a long
Right.
term relationship right
Yeah.
now, that you're not trying to manipulate the long term or
Yeah.
somebody into your situation, that kind of thing. Um, and then also if that is what you're, I think that gives you clarity. If you are, yes, I would date me, and yes, I want a partnership, and yes, this is what it looks like, then that's a place where you can uh, really begin to not entertain anything that's not that.
I think you make a really good point because what we are saying is not if you feel like your answer is no, then you shouldn't date. It's more, this is something really interesting to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a
Okay.
crucial question to ask.
I I mean, when I heard it, I thought, oh yeah, that's it all the time. Because I date me. I mean, today, now, yes, but there are seasons of this same chronological year where I might have said no. So you're right.
Yeah, I don't think it's maybe the ongoing nature of that inquiry is
Yeah.
important versus
Now I
well,
want to message you and say, okay, Deke, bring us home. Like we planned this.
get in the truck.
Okay. I have to say I am so proud of us because it's easy to start something and then never do the second or the third one. So I am very proud of us.
Yes, likewise, the the doing of it. So I've been looking forward to it uh,
Same.
all week, and I love the inquiry. And then I love the I'm not necessarily a dating coach per se, but all of a sudden there are all these opportunities to at least spot coach people on dating and then just the inquiry, and of course my algorithm on my phone is listening, so now my
Yeah.
reels are filling up with dating.com and
And it's the paying attention. So this is I mean, if we could give everybody a take this into your week, I really think it's just thinking about that. Would I date me? Would I date me? Yes.
100%.
Would you date you? So many pronouns. Would you date you?
Whatever's applicable
That's
to
right.
your situation. Would
Would
you
you
date
date?
you? Would I date me? Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in a week with we have two viewers. I think we reached a max of 5 at one point.
Killing it.
5 more than last time. We are killing it. And I will see you next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Would you date you? Goodbye.